Hi there. Today I'm gonna do another review of a Tinwoo smartwatch. This one is the T20WS. The unit is supposed to be an upgrade on the previous one, the T20W, which is a very good watch. I really like it. So let's see how this one compares to it. Let's start by taking a quick look around the unit. As you guys can see, it has a very sporty design to it. There you go. The unit itself seems to be made of metal all the way around, which is good because it means it's gonna be very durable. The sides are pretty thick right there, as you guys can see, but that is to be expected whenever you have a unit that's this big. There's the back. And the bands right here have the quick release pin, which is good, means they're easily replaceable, and they are both 20mm bands. One of the things I really like about this unit compared to the T20 is the matte finish right here on the side, which is a very good thing because the previous unit was actually very glossy and shiny, so whenever you touch the sides, you always left fingerprints behind. So you always needed to be cleaning it. Because this one has a matte finish, it doesn't leave any mark whatsoever whenever you touch it. So that's actually pretty good. Now, let's see what the display looks like when you turn it on. To do that, all you have to do is press the top button right here and hold it for about 3 seconds. You let it go, and it powers on. Now, one of the first things you guys will notice about the UI is that it's very similar to that of the Tinwoo Neutral. This watch, you would think, given how it is an upgrade on the T20W, it will have a similar UI, but they chose to change that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But for those who own the previous watch, you will notice that there is a big difference. Now, I do have always on display feature so that I don't have to keep turning on the display every time it times out. But what that means is that when the display is on, it's locked. So if you guys notice, when I swipe on it, nothing happens unless I press this button to unlock it and then swipe. Upon swiping down, you'll get your notifications right there. If you swipe up, you'll get additional features like the battery saver, do not disturb, find my device, flashlight, which is pretty awesome. It just means that the display will go white and shine really bright. So if you're in a dark area and you don't have access to a flashlight, you can use that. And lastly, the music controls right here, which is pretty awesome. That means you can control the music on your phone through the watch. One thing you will notice about the display is that it's nice and bright. So whenever you are outside, you don't have to worry about how visible it's gonna be because it's gonna be very noticeable. That's one of the good qualities about Tinwoo. I've noticed the watches so far have all been very consistent when it comes to the brightness. So whenever you're outside, you don't have that worry that, you're unable to see what time it is. So another good thing about the build quality of this watch is one thing I almost forgot to mention. It is that it is IP68 certified. That means that the watch is waterproof up to 1.5 meters, so you can submerge the watch in what was that, about 5 feet of water, and it'll be water resistant for 30 minutes, which is pretty impressive. That means you can actually take a shower wearing the watch and you don't have to worry about it getting damaged or anything. You can just put it on, take a shower, go swimming, whatever you want. If you want to find some of the additional settings of the watch, all you have to do is swipe to the left. Right here you get your sports, meditation, heart rate monitor, and additional settings. If you keep swiping, there's the do not disturb nighttime mode, weather. That is a stopwatch, and whether you control the settings for the LCD for the display. If you swipe a little bit further, sorry, in that direction right here to the right, you notice your activity tracker. That's where you find all the information about how many calories you burned, how far you have walked, and that sort of thing. Another cool feature that this watch has is that it supports wireless charging, which is a pretty cool thing, especially because you mostly see wireless charging on more expensive devices. I own a couple of other smartwatches by other companies, and none of them support wireless charging. And even though those watches were actually more expensive than these ones, that I find to be a pretty awesome thing, a pretty awesome feature that you get, especially based on how much you pay for the unit. Speaking of, if you guys want to see a comparison, here we have the T20W, so that you guys can see how similar the two of them are. There you go. As you guys can see, they are identical right there. The only difference being the finish. Like I said, this one has a matte black finish on it, and the surface on this one is right here is just shiny and reflective. So whenever you touch it, you tend to leave fingerprints behind. In a minute, we'll soon cover the customizations of the watch, which let's talk about some of them. First of all, the notification customization. You can actually customize the watch so that you receive only certain notifications, because at the end of the day, we don't want to receive a bunch of incoming notifications nonstop. You can set priorities. That way you can only get notifications from either your contacts, your calls, that sort of thing. And that way you don't have, let's say, your games and your social media apps constantly notifying you during the day, especially if you're doing something important. Another customization feature that is pretty awesome is the fact that you can actually change the faces of the watch to whatever you want. You can even use your own wallpaper, which is another feature that we found on the Tinwoo Neutral. That feature is not present on the T20W, but this watch actually does have it, which is pretty cool. And in a few, I'll show you guys what that looks like. Now, to customize the watch, it is very straightforward. All you have to do is open the app, select screensaver settings. Sorry, I click alarm. There you go. And select from all these watch faces right here. So let's switch to this one. Now, the process might take a minute. So what I'll do, I'll pause and then fast forward so you guys can see the final result. So you can see the process already began. So just give me a second. And we're back. Right now it's up to 75%. One thing I've noticed is that the customization time varies depending on which watch face you're gonna use. So this one is taking about a minute, while other ones I've tried before have taken about 30 seconds. So that seems to be a little bit interesting. As you guys can see, it's almost done. So here we go. There it is. Now, another thing you can do, you can actually customize the watch face yourself with any wallpaper you like. To do that, you just click on custom on top. Digital or analog. I always do digital. Select image, choose photo, and now you pick the wallpaper you want. So let's scroll through my wallpaper, and let's see. And you know what? Let's do this one right there. Copy, and there you go. Now you just need to give it one more minute, and it's gonna begin to transfer. Like before, I'll stop the video so that you guys can see what the final product looks like. And we're back. as you guys can tell by the bottom right here, the transition from the wallpaper over there is a lot quicker than the previous watch face, which is pretty cool. And there you have it. There you go. Actually, it looks pretty awesome. So my final thoughts on the unit. I think it's a very good unit. I'm a big fan of the T20 series by Tinwoo. And just like the previous one, this one does not disappoint. I do wish that the UI was a little bit snappier. It's a little bit slow, but that's also because I'm very familiar to the T20W, which has a slightly faster, snappier setup. But at the same time, I can't complain because this is actually a pretty good unit. I really liked what the guys at Tinwoo have been doing so far. Their units have been very, very affordable, very reliable, and it is hard to find a smartwatch that is as good as this without breaking the bank. So I hope you guys like the review. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to leave the comments down below and I'll answer as soon as I can. So thank you for watching. Take care. And I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, here we are on day 3 of testing the new unit right here, the Tinwoo T20WS. This particular unit is actually quite similar to the T20, but the UI has been copied from the T37. As you guys can see, the screen is actually very bright and colorful. It has all the details on it right there. So far, upon testing it for 3 days now, I've noticed that the watch itself is actually pretty accurate and it does a very good job at tracking your mileage. One good thing about the watch is that it actually has an always on display. Right now I don't have it on. I actually prefer to keep it off because it will extend your battery life. The battery life itself is actually pretty great. You can actually wear this watch every day for about 6 to 7 days, and that's a very good thing because you actually don't have to worry about charging the unit over and over. You can always just grab it, put it on, and head back out. As you guys can see, the sun is fully out right now, and let's see what the screen looks like under bright light. As you guys can see, it's still very nice and clear, so even during very sunny days you can still get a very clear and accurate look at the screen no matter how bright it is outside. See? One of the advantages of not using the always on display on the watch is that the LCD is going to display so much better, because the always on display, when you turn it on, will make your screen a little bit dimmer, which makes sense. It's something they do to conserve battery. But at the same time, if you're out and about during a very bright day such as today, as it is now, then your display won't be that noticeable. So it's better to just keep the raise to wake feature on, which is what I usually do, especially because it's very precise. So the moment when you lift up your hand, it just comes on immediately, as you guys can see right there, with no hesitation or anything.